Welcome to the Genius Way Show with your host, Ben Hummell. The aim of this show is to provide education, encouragement, and insights for people who are on their own personal development journeys. As a psychotherapist, teacher, author, and creator of the Genius Way process, Ben will focus on identifying common challenges to living a purposeful life, and will share valuable psychological and spiritual tools to help you make healthy and empowering life changes. We hope you enjoy the show.
Hey friends, and welcome to the Genius Way Show. I'm your host, Ben Hummell. It's great to see you again this week. And today we're going to be talking about how your genius has something to say in particular. Your genius, your center of self-expression that comes directly from existence, it has something to say in particular. So let's start with a little idea. If you've ever heard this saying before and wondered what it meant, let's go into it for a minute. So there's a saying that goes like this: the fish in the water is thirsty. So how do you get that? What does that mean to you? The fish in the water is thirsty. It seems pretty absurd, right? Because the fish is in the water. How can it possibly be thirsty when there's water outside of it, inside of it? It kind of lives on the water, but yet it's thirsty. So that's kind of an allegory or a metaphor for human beings who are thirsty for something that they already have, but don't realize it. So when it comes to genius, which is our center or our connection to the expressive self that we were born with, the connection or the collection of talents and gifts and predispositions for creative expression. When we're not in touch with that, we go around searching for life fulfillment. We go around searching for things that give us a sense of purpose. And using the fish in the water is thirsty analogy, we already have that thing that is the seat of purpose in us, which is our genius, which is our collection of expressive qualities. And these collection of expressive qualities are directly connected to existence as its own expression. Anyway, we'll get into this more. I know I'm layering on a bunch of stuff. So how we get to this this idea of the genius having something in particular to say is we've got to go through the different layers of consciousness, the different layers of identity. And as a human, the first layer that I want to talk about, and this, the model that I've come up with in the Genius Way, is the wound drive. The wound drive. And so when we are expressing ourselves, one of the ways to express, one of the motivations to express is about healing wounds. And what am I talking about in terms of wounds? So all of us come here and we kind of go through our developmental process psychologically, and we collect through lack of experience and through mishaps and the bunch of people that we come in contact with. We collect these wounds, these traumas, these experiences that kind of shock us and kind of move us along a certain path through our developmental stage. So these wounds are basically kind of like attacks on our innocence. They are things that we inevitably all have to learn. They're things that we all have to go through. Some are much worse than others, but they're woundings in the sense that they take us away from a kind of an innocent path through life. And so when a little bit of our innocence or our not knowing gets kind of pulled away from us, it creates a wound that in turn wants to be healed. So when I'm talking about the wound drive, the drive is like in drive theory and psychology, the drive is a kind of stored up amount of energy, expressive energy that wants to resolve itself out of not being fulfilled. Okay? And so for the wound drive, in us, all of us have many, many wounds that are calling to be healed. Think about it this way. Say you're on a path going from your house through the woods to the grocery store. Okay. Along the way, somebody comes and steals your shoes. And then you go further down, you're walking with no shoes, and then somebody takes your wallet. Then you go further down and you slip down the bank and you break your ankle. So now we got 3 wounds here. You have no shoes, you have no money, your wallet's taken, and you're on your way to the store, and you're like, wait a minute, I need shoes, I need a foot that works, and I need money to go to the store. So these 3 wounds basically are calling to be healed so that you can fulfill that first journey that you are on. So that's a little metaphor for us. So we're all going through our lives, and we're all kind of going somewhere. We're going from birth to death, but along the way, we're going through our life journey. Okay? And along the way, we get these different woundings, like I explained there. And so when there's a wound, there's also implicit in the wound happening, there's a healing that is now calling to be had, calling to be to take place. There's a healing. So we might not feel that, but it's on a kind of a deeply unconscious level that there is something that is off now that wasn't off before. Something's wounded that needs to come back to where it started. It needs to be healed, right? So when we're talking about our wound drive, that is an expendable amount of energy and motivation to heal a wound. And again, it's very, very unconscious, but the drive can be very strong. So one example for this wound drive is, when you see someone who has, let's say, taken up a charity, and the charity is, let's say, some kind of cancer, let's say breast cancer or brain cancer or something. And a lot of people who take up these charities are someone who's been touched directly by that, either by a loved one or their own experience with it. And so they get an insight and they're like, wow, I need to do something about this issue. And I'm going to use my energy to make it better for others so they don't have to suffer in that way. So a lot of beautiful charities and beautiful efforts and healing things have been instigated by people who've been directly wounded by those very same things. Okay. And so that is an example of, what do you do with this wound drive? What do you do with this expressive energy that's supposed to be used to heal a wound, right? And a lot of wounds have been healed by that. Okay. So that's one thing. And so it's important to know that, it's beautiful to be able to use that wound drive, that wound energy, the drive to heal the wound in an expressive and creative way, because it's very, very valuable. Okay. Like when I work with people in therapy, we are working mostly with their wound drive, their woundings, and wanting to come back to, homeostasis, coming back to, I want to feel whole again. I want to feel well, and I want to spend a lot of energy coming back to that place. Okay. And so that's the wound drive. And when you are operating from that wound and trying to heal it, it's a certain type of experience. It's a certain type of efforting. It's a certain type of just a feeling when those wounds are healed. It's kind of a little journey, right? I'm going from feeling whole, and then I've been wounded, and then I come all the way back around, and I'm whole again with the lesson of experience, all together. So there's kind of a bit of growth there that happens through the healing of the wound, right? And like I said, most people are very, very unconsciously trying to heal their wounds. In other words, their unconscious is the motivator and the instigator of action to try and heal these wounds. Most people are trying to heal wounds and don't realize it. And that's why, we're going to hop over to the idea of relationships. Did you ever feel like you're getting into a relationship and after a while it's like kind of the same dynamic as your previous relationship? Yeah. So that does happen. And what that can be chalked up to is both people unconsciously trying to use the relationship to heal the wound of what happened before. Could have happened way back in childhood, but it's basically an unconscious effort to heal a wound. So unconsciously we draw people towards us that actually have the thing that's going to exacerbate our wound with the idea that it's going to be healed. It hardly ever works. Okay? I'm up for conscious relationships. The unconscious way to heal a wound really doesn't work. You have to bring yourself more aware of what your wounds are in order to heal them. Okay? So anyway, that's in a nutshell. There's a lot more to it, but that's in a nutshell the wound drive. And even when you heal that wound, if you manage to, it feels a certain way. To be able to kind of go after that wound and work to heal it and kind of end that detour off of your path, it feels a certain way, right? Coming back to wholeness feels a certain way. Something was wrong, and now I'm returning, and now it feels good again. It feels okay. And so lots of people feel like that is the goal of life. Lots of people feel like I'm here to heal my wounds and come back to a state of wholeness. And I'm here to tell you that there's more than that to our lives. There's a lot more. And so we're going to get into that a little bit later. So back to the little analogy of the fish in the water is thirsty. So what that kind of gets to is that we are actually already in something besides the wound drive that is a reason for us to express ourselves. Okay? So we talked about the wound drive, but we didn't talk about the genius drive. And the genius drive is kind of what this show is about today. And so first, take a look at this little video about the fish in the water being thirsty, and then we're going to talk a bit about the genius drive, which kind of plays off of this fish being in the water and not realizing it. Take a look.
Have you ever pondered on the paradox of a fish in the ocean, submerged in a world of water yet thirsty? Seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? Well, let's dive into the metaphorical depths to decipher this riddle. The metaphor, the fish in the water is thirsty, is a profound statement that explores the human condition. It's like a fish swimming in an ocean, surrounded by water, yet it's thirsty. Sounds absurd, right? But here's the catch. The fish is unaware of the water surrounding it. It's oblivious to the very substance that gives it life, just as we humans often overlook the beauty and bounty of life surrounding us. We are the fish, and the water represents the abundance of life, opportunities, love, and happiness that surrounds us. Yet, we often find ourselves thirsty, longing for something more, something beyond our reach. We swim in a sea of abundance but are oblivious to it, constantly seeking something else, somewhere else. Just like the fish, we are immersed in an ocean of life, yet we often fail to recognize it. We thirst for things that are often right before us, within our reach. It's about acknowledging and appreciating the abundance that life offers every moment. To sum up, the metaphor, the fish in the water is thirsty, is a gentle reminder to us all. It nudges us to open our eyes to the richness of life around us. It's about recognizing and appreciating what we have rather than yearning for what we don't. This metaphor is an invitation to dive deep, to explore, and to truly see. It's about quenching our thirst by acknowledging the ocean we're already swimming in, because sometimes the things we seek are right under our noses, or in the case of the fish, right under its gills. So remember, life is an ocean of opportunities. Don't be the thirsty fish. Instead, recognize the water around you, appreciate it, and quench your thirst. After all, you're already swimming in the ocean of life. And with that, we unravel the philosophical paradox of the thirsty fish. It's a gentle nudge, a reminder to appreciate the water we're swimming in. So take a moment, look around, and quench your thirst. because the ocean is vast and you're already in it.
So that fish in the water, the thirsty fish, is us, as you can see. And one of the things that we don't realize is that we have also another way to express ourselves. We have another focus or center of self-expression, which is called the genius way. That's what I call it anyway. The genius drive, rather. It's the genius drive that has us express ourselves from our innate gifts and our callings and the expressive elements that we were born with. Okay? So the genius drive versus the wound drive, the genius drive isn't about healing something. The genius drive is about expressing something new. It's about fulfilling the interior blueprint of what this life is supposed to be that we were born with. And so the wound drive has a certain task. It's to come back. It's to return. It's to fix. It's to heal. Okay? The genius drive, on the other hand, like the water that the fish is swimming in, the genius drive is to express something new. It's not about healing wounds. It's not about fixing anything. It's not about returning. It's about going boldly forward. It's about surprising everyone. It's about bringing out something new that hasn't been seen before. So every single one of us has this genius drive. And it's a fund of expressive energy that is particular to your life. In other words, no one else can express what you came here to express. And that's just not a nice little saying that you put on a Christmas card. It's literally true. If you were not here, or if you do not fully express what you have within you in your genius drive during your lifetime, the world's going to be a little poorer for that. And sometimes it takes a little bit of courage. It takes a little bit of effort and insight and a little bit of work to get to where your genius is. Again, genius being the collection of talents and skills and callings and predispositions that you have that point directly to life fulfillment. But that packet or that cache of talents and skills is your birthright, and it's what you came here to express. So I've identified the genius drive as the way to do that. And I've also found where we can find this within ourselves. And that's what our guided visual is going to be about today. So the genius drive, again, is about expressing something new. And we all have one, but we're largely unaware of it. However, it feels dramatically different than the energy of healing a wound. Okay? Healing a wound, it feels good. It's like, great. You know how good it feels to have have an illness and come out of it and feel much better and feel healthy again, having a cut, putting a Band-Aid on it and letting it heal, and then your skin is back to normal. That's all beautiful stuff and necessary. And that's frankly a lot of the work that I do with my clients. But what I've also started doing, in the past 10 years working with clients is recognizing the element of the genius and the quality of being fulfilled in your life. Healing a wound doesn't fulfill us, I'm sorry to say. Feels good, it's necessary, it's important work, but it's not fulfilling in and of itself. Why? Because we weren't born to heal wounds. Healing wounds is one of the things that we do on our journey. But the real reason for the journey is to express something new, to express something that hasn't been seen before. Think about it. Your life, no one will ever repeat what has happened in your life and what will happen in your life. That's your job and your job alone. It's your opportunity and your opportunity alone to express that life really fully. And when you go to express that life, that genius that you have within you, it's not a matter of making something up. There's something already there waiting for you, waiting for me to live into it. And to know that, you just got to become very, very sensitive to what you already have with you. To know, for the fish to know how to take a drink, he has to first realize he's in the water. And for us to know how to express our genius, our innate callings, we first have to realize that we have a genius within us. We have that fund of expressive energy that comes directly from existence. That's our connection to existence. Okay? So we have that, and there's nothing that can take that away from us. It can't lose it. But the only thing we can do is ignore it. We can ignore, if we choose, to listen to our genius. And that's kind of a shame. You know, when we do that, there's always something in our life, no matter how many wounds we heal, there's always something in our life that feels unfulfilled, that feels purposeless. So have you ever felt that feeling of purposelessness? You know, the very first episode of this show that I did, I spoke about that, feeling stuck and purposeless. And one of the good things about feeling that is that it shows you that that's not your natural state. It's not where you belong. If that was, if we didn't have a genius drive, something that is stored up energy that wants us to express ourselves, we would be happy being stuck. We'd be happy being stagnant and unfulfilled. What is this? What is it in us that pushes us towards fulfillment? It's a drive, and it's the genius drive, right? And so like the fish, we simply have to become aware that we have it, you know? And so, like I said, I've been working with therapy clients on healing the wounds, and I found that at one point that was just not enough for people who are living on a deeper level, who are more sensitive to that feeling of like, wait a minute, I want life fulfillment. I want my life to be purposeful. I want to feel good about my life and my work. So for those people, for that category of people, healing wounds is not enough. You know, the work we do is to get to the level of genius and discover what it is for you in particular to express, to experience that sense of life fulfillment. Okay, so when it comes to that, we have to talk about a level of awareness, a level of consciousness that that is the home of our genius qualities. And I've called that the prima conscious. It's deeper than our psychology. It's deeper than our unconscious. It's like a different layer of consciousness that has all of our gifts, all of our predispositions, everything that existence wanted to express as us is there. It's like a storehouse of all of our genius qualities that can't be lost. It can be ignored. Okay? So this place is called the prima conscious, and it's accessible. You can get to it, and you have to like learn how it feels to see the difference between the unconscious and the prima conscious. The prima conscious is all about self-expression. The unconscious is rather a place where we stuff down some of the things that we can't deal with. It's a place where, you know, the unthinkable gets pushed down. Sometimes it gets expressed and comes out by itself. Most of the times it gets suppressed. In the prima conscious, it's all one direction. It's all about expression. It's all about expressing something that hasn't been expressed before, and it's about expressing something that's in our storehouse of genius qualities. That's the prima conscious. So we're going to do a guided exercise right now. And, you know, right on the other side of this commercial, we're going to come back with a guided exercise to get you in touch with one of the things that your genius came here to express. Okay, we're going to take you right to the prima conscious if you follow this exercise. you'll find within there something that is yours to express, yours in particular, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about that for a little while. Okay, I'll see you on the other side.
Ben Hummel's writing comes from a deep well of experience, practice, and wisdom. The Genius Way teaches you the life skills you need to find your own unique genius. Summoning Genius helps readers to turn a midlife crisis into an opportunity for personal growth. You can find Ben's books on thegeniusway.com, Amazon, and most online booksellers.
Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and deeply exhale. Set an intention to discover something new about your personal genius expressions that are contained in the prima conscious level of your consciousness. See yourself in the basement of a house where you've stored some of your belongings a long time ago. As you see various items on the shelves there, you notice a particular wooden box that has your name and genius described on it. You take the box down from the shelf. How do you feel about seeing this box? Are there any memories associated with it? Do you have any curiosity about what's inside? You sit down on the floor with the box in front of you, wanting to open it. To your surprise, the lid of the box opens all by itself. As the lid slowly rises, what is the first thing that you see inside the box? What feelings arise when you see this item? What else, if anything, do you see inside your genius box? Now reach in and take out whatever is calling you the strongest. What have you taken out of the box? What specific things do you notice about this item? Now I want you to see that this item from your genius box has a message for you. And this message will appear in your awareness without any effort on your part. What is the message you receive? As you receive the message from this item, you experience a deep insight of how to apply this message in your current life. What is that insight? And now, before we bring this experience to a close, you decide whether to take this item with you or to put it back in the box and then back on the shelf. What do you decide to do? When you decide, you get up from the floor and walk upstairs to the main level of the house. And coming back into this present moment, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes and return to this room.
And so, how was that experience for you? I hope you were able to bring up something from your prima conscious about what your genius wants to express and to feel the energy of the genius drive just waiting there for you to kind of use it to express what you have within you. You know, this is all about creative expression that comes directly from your connection to existence. You know, only that. So, hopefully in your experience, you can relate to that idea of the fish in the water being thirsty and realize that all the fish has to learn is that it's already in the water. And all we have to learn is that we already have a genius whose expression points directly to personal fulfillment and living with the sense of purpose, meaning. And so that is, that's kind of the whole enchilada there. That's the whole point of this, is that while we're here, we learn that we're already in the water. We learn that we already have what we need to live a fulfilling life and to contribute to the rest of our fellow humans by what we already have within us. That's what's really important here. The contribution that we make by living a full life cannot be underestimated. How it usually works is when you step into your genius, when you step into your authentic self as an expression, it touches other people in such a way that they get motivated to do that themselves. And you can just imagine an entire world of people living their genius, living in that place where they're directly connected to existence through consciousness and expressing themselves from that place and kind of inspiring and turning on the whole world to be able to do the same thing. This would be an amazing place. And that's why the few people who are expressing their genius right now it's amazing to see them. Whether they're an artist or an architect or whatever, it doesn't matter. Everyone has something different, and it's only important to do what you have within you to do. That's all that's important. Okay, so we're going to take a little commercial break, and I'm going to come back with some inspiration about your genius drive and your genius having something in particular to say. And we'll see you then.
Hi, I'm Julianne Meyer, the host of Own Your Wellness, and you can watch my show on Mondays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. Pacific on Achieve TV right here on E360 TV. Remember, there's more to health and wellness than broccoli and burpees.
If you're thirsty for a fulfilling self-expression, you have to look for the energy of your own genius drive. You'll be able to identify it when the feeling you get from expressing it brings a sense of excitement and purpose. Like riding a wave, expressing your genius feels like you're living in the present moment, tuned in to all of your attention skills, and awareness. You feel like you're exactly where you need to be right here and right now. Remember that your genius drive is your birthright of self-expression, and it's a gift to you from the mystery of existence. It wants to be expressed, particularly through you. And that's our show for this week. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really enjoyed spending this time with you, as always. And until we see each other again next week, I want to invite you to stay curious, be kind to yourself, and remember that your genius has something to say.
Thanks for watching The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell. Make sure to visit thegeniusway.com for the resources you need to help you on your personal life journey. You can contact Ben at ben@thegeniusway.com. And you can follow The Genius Way with Ben Hummell on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. Thanks for streaming The Genius Way Show with Ben Hummell.